Assalamu alaikum, this is Morning Baraka, and you are watching your Fiqh questions answered. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid Mohsin Shah, how are you doing, sir?
Alaikum salam, Bilal. How you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
Nice
Bright
to
and
see you.
early and
Always,
upbeat
always,
for this one. Sister Zainab has an inquiry that will tax you.
So we have halal and kosher is the topic today. So we have a question from the USA. Is it acceptable to have kosher instead of halal if halal is not available? I live in a town in America where there are few Muslims but lots of Jewish delis and butchers. For us to have but halal meat would mean an 8-hour plus drive, which is not uncommon in America, really, the distances they live.
Indeed, yes.
So what would be the solution?
Considering that this is a default situation. Default, I mean, the brother hasn't got any dietary requirements or any illnesses or anything like this. It is absolutely forbidden to eat kosher meat. Question is, kosher fish would be acceptable, I think, yes, because there's no requirement of an actual slaughtering. And also kosher vegetables would be acceptable. But meat as in lamb, beef, chicken, camel, deer, totally not acceptable whatsoever, forbidden.
Mm-hmm.
He must, if he wants to eat meat, he must travel the 8 hours, or hopefully there could be some sort of DHL or UPS delivery service where you can order in bulk, bring it all in and store it. Otherwise, because there is no exceptional excuse, he has to either go there or just become a vegetarian for the meantime until halal meat is available.
But it's interesting because I have family in the States, and they, back in the 70s, they used to far less community that we have than we have today, and they used to drive, I think, 6 hours from upstate New York to New York, stock up their meat and have the ice containers, pack those up, purchase their meat same day or overnight. They would and then come back the next day. And to consider how we are in the UK. Most places have them, so this is in the early times when Muslims were. So nowadays it's not too.
It's not as bad now. It was difficult, but we really need to emphasize that as Muslims, you don't need to eat meat. It's not wajib to eat meat. There is a hadith in regards to one should eat meat every 40 days. When you say
not to eat meat, are you saying completely, or are you saying just periodically? If we're absent from meat, it's
if
okay?
you are, I mean, if you're absent from meat, it's okay. MashaAllah, I was absent from school dinners for the whole of my life. Why? Because there was no halal option. Mm-hmm. Did it bother me? Not really. I got really intrigued and introduced to different vegetarian cuisines, different vegetables.
I used to give us beetroot at school. I used to hate beetroot.
I actually like beetroot.
I used to look at the English table, think all those like sausages and things. Why are we not fed them? We're too young to understand them. So
the bangers.
I think that's one main issue is that as Muslims we need to understand that. Culturally we do enjoy meat. We look at the Turkish and the Arabs. They have their little barbecues. People coming from Southern Asia, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. They have a lot of meat curries, rice and meat. It's very, very popular.
Staple, isn't it?
It's very, yes, indeed. I can understand the affinity towards meat. However, it is not, if it's not available, it's not the end of the world. And why trouble yourself driving 8 hours to get meat? I mean, if you need a source of protein, lentils, tofu, if you need your fiber and your carbs are all available in vegetarian alternatives.
Pulses as well provide a lot of proteins.
Exactly.
And dairy.
Indeed. So you have alternatives.
We do eat a lot of meat though, don't we? Like the holy month of Ramadan is approaching, and when you go to the
tends
meat
to be
counter,
a meat fest.
It is indeed.
I cannot believe how much people purchase, bags and bags, and we go overdrive during that month rather than refrain and perhaps cleanse our soul from eating too much.
Indeed. I mean, as a Hausa student, we were always advised as well to go easy on the meat. Reason being, it requires so much energy to digest the meat. you will become lethargic. It
Mhm.
will make you heavy,
Mhm.
lethargic, and your brain activity decreases.
It spiritually
Ooh.
affects you
It
as
does
well.
spiritually. It can keep you down. It can hold you down, as they say.
It's
And in order for you to develop and rise spiritually, it can hold you down.
Definitely.
So, I mean, going back to it, like, it's not the end of the world if there's no
doesn't,
meat available.
But there's some that say they have a solution.
Okay.
Some Muslims say the meat's not killed, slaughtered according to Sharia. But if I get that meat and I say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and recite Shahada over it or a small dua of some nature, then I've now made it halal.
That we do not have any.
Have you heard? Are you familiar with this
I
type
am
of
familiar
thinking?
With it. I am familiar with this type of thinking. However, I have not come across any hadith or fatwa by any marja that deems this acceptable and deems the meat to be halal. If the animal is not slaughtered in the correct manner, which, by the way, is very difficult. A lot of people who are saying that the meat is halal from a halal slaughterhouse, 100% may not be halal in terms of the person that is slaughtering is a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
The animal was given water. The animal did not see the knife.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes were covered. It was facing Qibla. The main, I think it's called the aorta, the main vein here,
Mm-hmm.
that was sliced, not cut completely, but sliced. The word Bismillah was used, not Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, just the word Bismillah. You know, is this being done in our slaughterhouses? If they are, then alhamdulillah, our meat is halal. If it's not, then even that meat is not 100% halal.
Do we have a responsibility to go to the abattoirs to check?
Excellent question. It is not wajib upon you to investigate whether meat is halal or not. An inquiry from the person that is actually selling it or distributing it to you is enough. You ask them, you know, is this meat halal? And if they say yes, it is, that's enough. You don't need to, it's not wajib for you to further investigate. Show me your certificate.
To debate with them.
Yeah, there's no need for that. Because Islam is a religion of ease, religion of peace, religion of giving benefit to those, you know, when in doubt. And what are you doing? Let's look at it from a social aspect. When you are challenging the integrity of your fellow brother, let's say you go to the butcher, is your meat halal? Yes, it is. Where's your certificate? Where's this? Where's that? And someone's standing there and watching this whole you know, drama. Or what sort of, you know, you've just ruined the person's reputation in front of that. Now he's lost your business and he's also lost that person's business. You know.
What about in terms of just good manners? Or I don't know if it's even a matter of halal or haram, but you go to a Muslim's home or you're invited somewhere and they're serving food and then people, you know, you might stop and say, "Is this halal?" Is that correct behavior? Is that permissible? Is that wrong?
I mean, okay. So what happens is that if you have serious doubt, if you have some serious doubt, coming from ihkam point of view, you don't need to act upon the doubt because we only act upon yaqeen. Things that are certain that we know. You know, however, some scholars out of ihtiyat would say that, okay, you go to a Muslim's house, you've noticed there's alcohol in the cupboard or something like that. So there's Muslims not practicing. You have great suspicion and great doubt whether this meat is halal or not. You know, maybe it is better you just don't eat it. Not rather than ask, just don't eat it and opt for the vegetarian option. You know?
So the Muslim house might not have a vegetarian option. So in terms of places like KFC, Nando's, advertise they have halal outlets.
Yes.
What's our responsibility there? Do they have certificates?
I mean, to be honest, in the West, I have to put my hand on my heart. The companies actually do a lot to cater for Muslims and to make sure that the halal standard is met. I'm not mentioning any big company names, but you know, there's certain companies which are, they have branches here, but they also have them in the Middle East. So you'll find them there.
Right.
Don't want to mention the name of the company, but it's a very famous steak company, you know, which is here. Very expensive, probably the most expensive one you go to, which have a halal section where they have a kitchen just for the halal meat. They have separated utensils to use the halal meat.
Right.
But are
Separate grill.
they bringing in that meat to sort of prepare for it in their kitchen? But I'm sort of questioning about KFC mass production, where they have the abattoirs, where we don't quite know if the animals are just slaughtered one by one. There's a machine playing Bismillah. I mean, there's all sorts being said.
Indeed.
So
one thing we need to understand about these big companies is that when it comes to halal meat, they source it. They don't actually have their own slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
They source it from a halal distributor, and with the food authorities in this country, you have to abide by them. They're very strict, especially when it comes to halal. Alhamdulillah, we have companies like HMC and HFA, Halal Monitoring Company, and the Halal HFA is the Halal Food Authority. They actually go and inspect these slaughterhouses.
Like random inspections and things like that.
Yeah, they go and inspect and they audit these places to make sure that the meat that they are providing is halal.
okay.
The question is, though, when it comes to ahkam, is there a different ahkam for other schools of thought? So can we actually buy meat from Sunni Muslims who may have a different approach to slaughtering an animal than the Shia? You know, that's the debate and a topic for another time. But as far as I know and I am concerned, personally, I have a lot of confidence in food authorities in this country, in those halal monitoring companies, to actually tell us and assure us that the meat that we are receiving is halal. If you want to make things difficult for yourself, go ahead. You may not be eating meat for a very long time, and you're just creating difficulty for yourself. If you stay within the ahkam rules and what is wajib upon you, you can enjoy meat for a certain amount of time.
Thank you. It's interesting. I mean, my mind's going towards, so say you go to Pizza Express here and they have chicken that is halal, but we don't know in terms of the environment, it's
Cross-contamination.
Yeah, and even if it's halal, and I know Allah blesses that food when you have that trust, you shouldn't be too suspicious about things, but what's the spiritual impact on if you're eating something that may be contaminated? Surely that has some sort of impact on you. Some of
the scholars have said that it does have an effect on you and your body. When you look at the philosophy of refraining from pork and refraining from certain other animals which are forbidden to eat, because of the impact it has on your character, the impact it has on your
your psyche or something like this,
psychology, your morality, which is very important in Islam, the ethics and the morality that we have and that we promote in our religion, that it takes us away from that. So it does have, and the West say it itself, themselves, you are what you eat. So if you're eating chicken, I don't think you're going to be in Imam Zaman's army. You might have a bit of a small heart, but we're not allowed to eat lions' hearts, so you can be nice and strong.
I think it's an absolutely valid point, because
Zahra, I think we have I believe we have do we have a caller on line one? Hello and assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. My question is regarding to halal meat. When it comes to meat, I'm very reluctant to purchase halal meat, as I have researched information regarding of what consists of halal when it comes to the meat. It's come to my attention that many of the organizations who do provide halal meat actually don't meet the requirements under our jurisdictions of what is halal. As an example, stunning or the use of machinery. It's actually made me very paranoid, and I have a phobia of eating meat. If you could advise me on what is best to do in these circumstances, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your question. Inshallah, Sayyid will be able to answer.
Indeed. Number one, all meat that is slaughtered in this country is stunned by law. It has to be stunned. Beef is stunned. Lamb, mutton, sheep is stunned. Chicken is also stunned. The issue is the chicken is very much significantly smaller in size. And the issue comes where if the stunning, does it stun or does it kill the chicken before the slaughtering takes place? That is the issue. There's no issue with stunning an animal, because at the end of the day, the reason it's stunned, well, if you think about it, we have supply and demand, right? You've got an order for 100 chickens. Now, if we're in an organic farm, free-range chickens,
Yes.
how long is it going to take you to collect all those chickens and then, you know, one by one slaughter them, and then, you know, take the feathers off and prepare it properly, and then, you know, get your delivery ready in a very fast cosmopolitan city that we're living in. Now, I said 100. In reality, it's probably the whole of UK. In one day, 100,000 chickens get sold.
Yeah.
Halal and non-halal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if they were all free range and organic, how long could we keep up with that demand?
Yeah, the price would be, because I've seen a documentary where a brother had a organic farm and the chickens looked really nice and the setup was brilliant, but they weren't cheap. They were quadruple the price because it takes that amount of effort, man hours, that amount of time.
Exactly.
But doesn't it show that how much or how little we should be eating? That if that's the natural way of rearing them, and you know that we should perhaps reduce our intake of so much meat.
Because the information say that the early Muslims only ate meat on Eid and certain special days.
Imam
There was
Ali,
Eid around.
Imam Ali, salamullah alayhi, he ate meat how many times a year? Once a year. After the Eid, after the Hajj,
You just stunned me.
the Qurbani, he would eat meat on that day. Otherwise, he would not eat meat. Not that he made it haram on himself, which is forbidden, by the way. You can't say to yourself, I'm not eating meat, I don't agree with slaughtering animals,
So the vegan
animal
diet.
rights, you know, I make meat haram upon myself.
Yeah.
Vegan diet. Okay, the vegan diet I think is done for health benefits, really. No one does it that, oh, we're taking advantage of animals.
No, they do now.
Muslims are doing that.
I've heard people say we're
I heard non-Muslims saying that, but not Muslims. I haven't heard that.
I've
But
heard
that's
Muslims.
new. That's new.
I have heard,
that is new to me, and also
It's
There
in
are-
the Quran
there is
actually
a
says
growing-
eat of these and Allah names.
There's a
it is an
growing
issue.
trend.
It is an issue to raise concern that you are making something which is halal upon you haram. If you do not like the taste of meat, or you think that meat is something
you could lose
that's
weight
not
or
really
some kind of health.
benefiting you, and you just prefer not to eat meat, that's one thing. Don't make it haram upon yourself. You know, that's.
But what if it's just a taste that they think, well, you know what, we do eat too much meat, so we're going to just go vegan.
There's
Is
nothing-
it compulsory they have to eat meat? Because the Quran says eat of them. Is it a choice?
I mean, it depends. I mean, are you doing this? Are you making meat haram upon yourself? That's not allowed. Also, there is the hadith of that is there that you should eat meat every 40 days. Now, I just told you that Imam Ali ate meat once a year. So was Imam Ali, na'uzubillah, was he committing an act which is forbidden? No,
Well, he
definitely
also
not.
ate dry bread. I mean, we
100% not.
Yeah,
Imam Ali
yeah.
is perfect, and he would not, you know, think of even committing such an act against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think it came down to preference, and it came down to the situation. Same with the Muslim brothers and sisters who want to adopt a vegan diet. You know, there are great benefits from this vegan diet. But don't shun away yourself from meat. Don't make it haram on yourself. If you choose that, you know what, I just prefer vegetables to meat, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know? And if you have to eat meat, or if you say that I want to fulfill this hadith of eating meat every 40 days, like, just have a little bit. Have one chicken wing. It's not going to kill you. You know, just have a little bit of meat. I'm not saying to have a proper meal. No one's saying that. Just have a little bit of meat, because, you know, especially for men, it's a bit important that, you know, we have some sort of meat to help us with our, you can say, to help with our manliness,
The testosterone
and
levels.
testosterone levels, and, you know, for a good healthy muscular physique. Because after a day of farming, where we're from in Punjab back home, after a day of farming, we don't want to look at vegetables. You know, we need muscle repair. And I'm sure for those people who actually, you know, go to the gym and do like bodybuilding, meat is eaten every day. The best source of protein is
complete the 9 amino acids. isn't it?
exactly
Yeah,
fish. Also chicken breast.
Turkey
Steak.
breast.
Turkey breast.
Yeah.
Steak, beef steak. You know, it's required for these results to help your physical body enhance
And repair itself.
Indeed. And Islam is not against that neither. It's not against people improving their health and improving their physical attributes. I mean, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam recommended swimming, wrestling, you know, things like this to help, because he wanted Muslims with strong physiques, and stamina, because he understood the battles that were going to come.
Yeah.
And furthermore, this is how a nation actually progresses with health. Is that they are active.
Health, vitality, and vigor.
That's all we've got time for. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
So the brother will have to drive the 8 hours to.
Yes.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed this session as much as we have. See you soon.